my name is Shalise, also known as Mommy Trader here on YouTube. Hello investie besties, welcome back to the channel. If you are new around here, welcome, and if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. I do appreciate all of you guys being here. If you are new, you know I got to do my intro. My name is Shalise. I am about to turn 38, so I think when this posts, I'll still be officially 37. But I am a mom, I'm a wife, I have 3 children, and we are trying to achieve something called FIRE, right? Which is financial independence, retire early, more so like the financial independence part, because as I think the retire early will kind of come by default if you do achieve it. So we're trying to do that via investing in real estate. We have 3 homes, investment accounts. We have like 15 of them, I think. We are first generation millionaires. We invest in cryptocurrency, NFTs. We are embarking on a new type of investment with other investors. Is some type of real estate. I will have a video about it later in the month of September while we're kind of hashing out all of the fine details. But I do try to come on here on YouTube and really share real numbers and show you guys and help you to understand why investing and just really having a plan for your money is so important. So if you want to know more about that, subscribe, like, and share, and hit the little bell notification button so that you don't miss an upload every time I post a video. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you all so much for coming back. So today's video, and you saw the thumbnail, we're going to be really having like a heart-to-heart type of conversation. It's one that is really, really needed. We don't talk about it enough. But we all are impacted by it in some way, shape, or form. I will try not to edit this video. I will put like some screenshots of pictures and things like that in, but for the most part, I'm just gonna really try to talk to you guys from like your sis point of view, somebody who has been through this when things weren't in place, and the stress and the chaos that it causes to people who you love, who's left here having to deal with this. So we're going to talk about estate planning and why it's so important. I know when we think about death, it is a very somber, a very scary, a very fearful type of feeling, right? When you hear the word, immediately sometimes your heart sinks inside of you and you just want to avoid it at all costs, right? However, it is something that all of us will experience at some point in our lives. And then one day, personally, right? We are going to die one day. And I used to be the type of person that would just avoid anything that had to do with it. But once I started to, get on this path of really changing my mindset when it comes to money, I realized that when you prepare for your death, you are actually doing something extremely wise. You are using a lot of wisdom. I know sometimes we feel like, well, it's no point in going through all of that, but I'll tell you the first reason why you need to really focus on estate planning. We're going to talk about wills, okay? So a will is something that really can be simply made. I know sometimes people think that you have to have this elaborate, long-winded 100-page document that says you want this, you want this, you want this, you want this, and that really isn't the case. You can just go on, like there's one website that I really love that I do use called lawdepot.com. I'll have the link in the description box. You sign up for like a membership and they'll give you access to a lot of documents that you can create on your own and then take them to like a notary republic, right? Something super simple, and get it like officially authorized or sealed, if that makes sense. And you can just have like 2 pages. Like I've talked to people who just have 2 pages, they don't have a whole lot. They just wanted to really explain and put into writing what they wanted done with their possessions and what they wanted, their funeral and things to be. It doesn't have to be something long, and it doesn't have to, be so overwhelming. You can keep it very simple. And a lot of the websites have like pre-filled information already in. So all you got to do is just add your personal touches, like your name, your address, all of the legal things, and then the specifics in terms of like your car or your bank accounts or your investment accounts or something like that. And just to get a like starter will done, it's like $500-$600. And I have a tracker inside of that wealth workbook that I am selling, and I also have the individual tracker if you want to learn how to like have a savings challenge for your will, or for a living will, or for power of attorney, because these are really important. And speaking of that, let's talk a little bit about living wills. So again, a lot of people don't really think about this. Like if you get in an accident, God forbid, right? You're in a coma, you're in a vegetative state. What do you want done? with, you know, your possessions or to you? Do you want to be on a machine? Do you want to be taken off of life support? I mean, what do you want done? Who's going to manage your finances? This is why having a good beneficiary is so important. So a lot of you who are investing, okay, they will usually ask you, do you want to add a beneficiary? I will say that even if they don't ask you, call the customer service line and add a beneficiary to your accounts. Again, you don't know what may happen to you. You may be in a state where you cannot communicate and make decisions for yourself. Your beneficiary can for you, okay? It's the same with a power of attorney. If you're going to choose someone to really be like the executor of your estate or really like make decisions for you, I cannot tell you, please pick somebody responsible, even if it's not your children, even if it's not your parent. If it's a best friend who you know you can count on through thick and thin, make them your power of attorney. Make them your executor. Make them your beneficiary. It doesn't have to be like this blood thing. It is whoever you feel like will be responsible and who will really do the best to be fair when it comes to making decisions on your behalf. Let me tell you some things that I have experienced when these documents were not in place, okay? Someone dies. You get the call, so-and-so passed away. And before you can even take the opportunity to like grieve, like cry it out, really, grieve. The first thought that would come to my mind is, oh my goodness, please don't let us go through this again. Because you already know that as soon as somebody dies, before their body is cold, somebody is going to be trying to take something. Well, this belongs to me, and they said that they were going to give this to me, and I said that I was going to manage this for them, but there's nothing in writing. There's no document that says, well, this person is responsible for this, or this person gets to have that. And you know what happens? Infighting starts. The police gets called. The police ask, is there a document in place, a legal document? No. They said, well, you know what? If nobody can decide on what to do, this needs to be, you need to take this to probate court. I don't know if you guys ever been through probate. It is a long and stressful process over something that could have been handled in literally, I wouldn't even say, like, to just do a simple will, something that takes no more than 30 minutes, let's just say, to prevent all of the drama. And I'm telling you, I've witnessed it where people stop talking to each other over chairs, over jewelry. I mean, it really, and if you are this person where you have these possessions and you want to leave them to other people, get this stuff in place. And I've had family members who would say, well, they're like jinxing themselves. If they put a will together, then they're going to die. If they get life insurance, that means they're going to die. I have been to several funerals of young people. Okay, so there's no age to this or anything like that. If you believe in God and you're like, well, if I get a will, then I'm going to die. Do you think God is that petty? He could take you with or without a will. Having a will is very, very, very responsible, especially if you have small children, or special needs children, and then going into life insurance. Again, this is another thing that we need to have in place. One of the trackers that I have in that investing workbook, and I have the PDF too, if you guys want to get it, it's a little cheaper. But one of the trackers in there is a life insurance tracker. And by the time you finish it, you actually have enough money for a few months payments for life insurance. Now, I know I'll get the question, do you think term life or whole life? Term life all the way, okay? Term life 100% is the best, and it's cheaper, okay? So you can go ahead and you can get a policy for yourself. Even if you're like, in your 40s or 50s, still get life insurance. I mean, honestly, a lot of the policies, like I would say, are between $100 and $150, depending on the company and your medical condition. But it is something that you need to have. I know sometimes some employers will offer life insurance through the company. My husband's company is one of those employers, so you can have like 2 policies on yourself. And then I know sometimes people will have like short-term disability insurance on themselves. My husband has that as well because he's the main income provider in the home, and because he has a high stress job, you just don't know, right? There's nothing wrong with having extra layers of protection there, because again, you just don't know. It's about being prepared financially so that things can be okay for us. But I could tell you that I have two grandmothers. So my mother-in-law, my husband's grandmother, and my grandmother. My husband's grandmother is 82. My grandmother is 80. They are testaments to, having everything in place, and you're not going to die because you do it. My grandmother, for example, knows exactly where she's going to be buried. She already has her plot and everything paid for. So does my husband's grandmother as well. And they're in their 80s, still thriving. I mean, they have some aches and pains, but they're still living and they're still thriving. And it just shows you how important it is, so that when they pass, they respect their relatives, their children and their grandchildren enough to just have all this stuff in place. Because once it happens, then, and it's interesting how people, especially when somebody dies in the family, like people can sniff if there's like some money, or if there's some property, or if there's some possessions, they can sniff it out, and they will come around and try to get their hands on it. And if you don't have anything in writing, again, you get in a fight, you call the cops. The cops are going to ask you, well, where's the documents? Like, where's the proof that this belongs to you? And it's going to be your word against theirs. And again, a couple of pieces of paper takes you no more than 30 minutes to put something together so that you can be truly prepared. All of this work we're doing with budgeting and with debt payoff and with investing and real estate and, having an emergency fund, these are all great things. But how do we ensure that these things truly can pass on to our children or descendants or relatives or whoever? How do we truly make sure this stuff passes on? And it's having these documents in place, even if you have small children, because there are people who are going to try to assume the role of, being a guardian over your children. So that's something else. Make sure you have people in place for your children in case something happens to you. Have guardians in place. If they have like godparents. I know that was like a big thing back in the day. Like if your children's godparents, they would be the one that would step in for you if something happened to you. But choose people who you can trust. Again, it does not have to be blood, like family related. If it's a coworker you have been close with for 15, 20 years and you trust them, you talk to them, of course, so that they know. You don't want to just kind of throw this on them and they have no idea what's going on. Talk, communicate, be open. And I think you'll be more comfortable on the back end, right? Because what's the point of having all this? We're building up our wealth, right? We're trying to achieve financial freedom. We die suddenly. And now everything that we have, everything that we worked so hard for is in probate court. And then our children who we wanted it to go to is fighting against a cousin who's saying, no, they really wanted me to have it, etc., etc., etc. Okay, y'all probably understand what I'm saying, but it's so important, right? We don't have these conversations about, putting these documents in place. Why don't we put these documents in place? Who is influencing our decisions not to have these documents in place? It's so important, guys. It's so important because you just never know. And even if you don't die, I mean, like I said, if you get sick and you can't make your own decisions, this is going to help you, okay? This is going to help you. And speaking of that, if you do have like a bunch of accounts like we do and a lot going on, have like a master list of like all of your accounts, all of your passwords, all of your login information, so that somebody else can have a copy just in case. I know some people are big into the safe deposit box, you can keep down in the bank, but you can have a safe in your house, wherever you decide. You can put it on like a USB where you have all of the account numbers and passwords so that somebody can have easy access to it in the event that it's needed. So I just wanted to come on here and just have a little chit chat and leave some comments down below. I love when we talk to each other because I'm trying to open dialogue here. This all is a part of wealth building. I know we don't think it is, but preparing for the end of our lives is a part of it, and it's a good thing to do because all this work, we don't want it to kind of fall away. And remember, when you go through probate court, it's not free. So they're going to take some of what they're owed from the estate. You've heard about Chadwick Boseman and Prince, and there's the different celebrities who died without any type of documents in place, and they had to go through probate court, right? I'm sure he didn't mean for his wife to have to go through all of that. I'm talking about Chadwick Boseman, Wakanda forever. But and just side note, I don't know if my daughter asked me like where we're going to go see the Wakanda Forever 2. I don't know if I'm like emotionally ready for that, because when I saw the trailer, I was like, I'm not gonna be able to watch this. Like, I'm not gonna be able to watch it. I just know I'm not yet. I'm not gonna be able to watch it. But his wife having to go through all of that, and even if you're religious, that's fine. I believe in God too, but again, it's about using wisdom. Okay, so leave me some comments down below. Like I said, if you enjoyed this, please subscribe to the channel, like and share. Check out some of my playlists if you are new to investing. If you want to follow our fire journey, I do show real numbers over here, and I think you would enjoy the content and find some value in it. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the little bell notification button, and until next time, I'll see you on the next one. Okay, have a good one. Bye bye.